Air Namibia has cancelled their operations into Accra. Now, to tell us why, we have Air Namibia's Senior Manager in Marketing and Sales, that is Wimpie van Vuuren, and he joins us on the line for more. Wimpie, thank you so much for making the time to join us. Can you tell us, is this a cancellation or merely a suspension, and why?
Good afternoon. Yes, I wish to confirm it's at this point in time a suspension. Air Namibia started 5 years ago to develop the route between Windhoek and Accra, and while we're doing all possible efforts and adjustments, it just happens that at the current climate we could not manage to find a way how to sustain it financially, and we will have to return to the drawing board to reconsider various other options. But for the interim period, we will certainly suspend the operation between Windhoek and Accra effective 26 June 2014.
Wimpie, you mentioned that it was the current climate, so exactly what happened? Why did this fail?
Basically, the possibility of this route was properly researched before we launched it, and all indications were that it is a viable operation. We've entered into a variety of commercial agreements with various airlines that would feed via Accra into Windhoek. Unfortunately, with the downturn in the economic developments in Europe, lots of the European carriers did not produce the numbers that we were expecting. Equally, the same situation happened with connections to the USA, and within Africa we face a situation with increased competition and capacity increasement to Johannesburg that certainly steer away some passengers from our route.
What are you doing about the issue of competition, as you've just mentioned now? What's your strategy?
I guess Air Namibia is in a very favorable position in the sense that we've just finalized our fleet renewal program, whereby Air Namibia is proud to offer some of the newest equipment that will give us some benefits with regard to fuel efficiency. Equally, we have increased our reliability dramatically, and I believe the bottom line would be to provide service and to bring through proper service and good rates people back to us.
We're also seeing a lot of the European airlines that are making a beeline for the African skies. They're expanding their operations into Africa. Are they quite a threat when it comes to African carriers?
I guess the big challenge is that within Africa we are exposed to soft currencies in most cases, where we are maintaining our aircrafts in hard currency and we need to pay fuel in hard currency. And the benefit is that people traveling from Europe to Africa are normally business people flying on higher yield tickets and paying in hard currency. And there is certainly a competitive disadvantage at this point in time operating in a soft currency and maintaining your aircrafts in hard currency.
Now, Wimpie, can you give us an understanding as to the current landscape at the moment? You've mentioned competition is a problem. You've mentioned ways in which you are going to improve fuel efficiency. What other challenges are there being an African carrier at the moment?
I guess that I don't think we should see ourselves as African carriers being at the disadvantage point. Of course, the where you operate from certainly plays a role, but we need to accept that it's worldwide a serious challenge in the aviation business. Everybody is trying to obtain more market share through reduction in price with other benefits offered. So it is something that I guess it's worldwide right now, that there's a serious competition for business. The aviation business is of course growing and expanding, but equally, as you've correctly mentioned, there's quite significant increase in flights into Africa, and of course the cake is just getting smaller and smaller.